Nobody told you this. Eden was never humanity's final destination. It was only the starting point. God never told Adam and Eve to remain inside the garden forever. He gave them a very different command. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. The serpent tried to tempt them, but this time, he failed. Eve never took the fruit. Neither did Adam. The devil retreated in defeat, and Eden became the first capital of a humanity that never rebelled against God. But what if that had really happened? Perhaps the greatest what if in the Bible isn't imagining a world without death. It's imagining a perfect civilization expanding Eden until it covered the entire earth. Because the command was never to preserve a garden. It was to extend it. The first cities would not have been born out of fear, or war, or ambition. They would have been born out of cooperation. Science would still exist, but not to build weapons. Technology would still exist, but not to destroy. Art would still exist, but without ego or corruption. And think about this. You would have never attended a funeral. You would have never stood beside a grave. Nobody would have ever heard the words, "You have cancer." There would be no overcrowded hospitals, no hunger, no wars, no poverty, no anxiety about tomorrow. Families would never be separated by death. Your grandparents would still be here. Your loved ones would never have said goodbye. But the consequences go much further. An immortal humanity would have thousands of years to learn, thousands of years to build, thousands of years to discover, without wars wiping out generations, without empires collapsing, without libraries burning, without knowledge being lost. Each generation would begin with a previous one ended. What would such a humanity become after 10,000 years? Would we have built unimaginable cities? Will we have reached the stars? Will we still speak a single language? Would animals now extinct still be alive? But there is something even more astonishing. The tree of knowledge would still be there, visible, untouched, a constant reminder that true love requires freedom. Because obedience only has meaning when there is the possibility of saying no. And then a fascinating question emerges. Would Jesus have come into the world anyway? Perhaps not as Savior, but as King. Not to die on a cross, but to dwell with a faithful humanity. And this is where everything changes. The Bible ends almost the same way it begins, with God dwelling among men, with the tree of life present, with a restored creation, as though the original project had never been canceled, only interrupted, as though Eden was never meant to be the final destination, but merely the beginning of something far greater. Now tell me, if Adam and Eve had never sinned, do you think humanity today would be living in a civilization beyond imagination? Or do you think that sooner or later, someone would have listened to the voice of the serpent once again?